In this video, let's learn about yet another flag, which is deposit authorization. The decimal value is 9. Let's understand a little bit about deposit authorization. It's an optional setting, by the way. Once enabled, it blocks all transfers from strangers, including transfers of XRP and issued currencies. Unlike disallow XRP flag, this flag is enforced by the ledger and not by exchanges and wallet providers. There are only two ways an account with deposit auth flag enabled can receive funds, that is, by accounts it has pre-authorized. In this video, we will learn how to authorize the accounts, and by sending a transaction to receive funds like escrow finish, payment channel climb, etc. Here we have little background, like financial institutions, that is, regulated entities cannot just receive funds from anybody without any reason. They have to report about all the transactions to the regulators, not that they receive funds from some anonymous accounts and they become happy. They probably get anxiety if they receive a lot of funds from some unknown accounts. So this facility, that is this flag, enables the account to only receive funds from pre-authorized accounts, or else to claim from payment channels or to finish the escrow. That way they know from whom they are getting the funds, right? So that's not a problem. So we have pre-authorization here, which we will be looking at in this video. So let's get back and enable this flag on our account, which is deposit auth, and its decimal value is 9. So let's open up our editor. I'll create another file, depositauth.ts. I'll quickly type the basic things we have been typing in all our lessons. I'll import XRPL client, and the secret we are using is a family seed, so we will derive from family seed. And then let me create an instance of XRPL client and get connected to test network using this WebSocket URL. And I'll create a method. We will be using async await method because most of the XRP ledgers APIs are return promises. So for the sake of this video, I'm creating a new testnet account. So I'll be using this family seed. And for reference, let's also copy the R address associated with this family seed. And remember, we are enabling deposit auth on this R address. And please do not just watch this video. Please create your own account on test network and please code along with me, because this has a lot of things to cover and I'm trying my best to keep this video short and precise, and I'm sure it will still take around 25 minutes at least to cover all these things. So please code along with me, that way it will be more clear. And we have already seen how to set and clear a flag in our previous videos, so I'm going a bit faster here. We already have sequence number, so I'll just copy it directly instead of fetching it from the ledger. So set flag, we are setting the flag for deposit auth and its decimal value is 9. Now let's feed it to sign method, that is, sign this payload with this account information. Okay, we will fetch only two fields from it, which is ID and signed transaction, and then we will submit this signed transaction to the test network using this command, which is submit txblob, pass it the value of signed transaction. Now let me output the data returned by RippleD. Hope everything is fine. So this should set deposit auth on this R address. Please don't get confused with these R addresses. So that's why I'm telling you, please follow along and code along with me, or else you'll easily get confused with all these R addresses I'm showing you on screen. So let me copy this hash transaction hash, go to Test Network Explorer and check it, and the flag has been set. Let me click here and confirm. Yeah, it has been set. So this is step 1, enable deposit auth on your account. So now this R address can't receive funds, that is XRP or issued currency, from anybody. Nobody can send XRP or issued currency to this R address. Let's check that. So this is our main script to send funds. We wrote it in our previous videos. So if you have not watched it, please watch it. So this is the account from which we are sending the funds to the R address which has deposit auth flag enabled, which just means this transaction should fail. So let's check that. Okay, the transaction is submitted to the network, waiting for the response, and the transaction failed with this message: no permission to perform requested operation. Okay, that's because I'll switch here. This R address has deposit auth flag enabled and it doesn't accept payment from any account except the whitelisted or authorized accounts. So let's see how to authorize the accounts. Before that, let's visit this documentation and read a bit about it. DepositPreauth is a transaction type which is used to authorize some accounts to send funds to accounts which have deposit auth flag enabled. I found one interesting thing, that is, even if your account has not enabled deposit auth, you can still run this DepositPreauth transaction and authorize couple of accounts to send funds to your account. But these authorized lists do not have any effect on your account. That is, anybody can still send funds to your account. Thus, this authorized list of accounts do not take any effect until you enable deposit auth flag on your account. That's interesting. So I'll show you how to fetch all the authorized accounts and stuffs like that. First, let's see how to use this. So authorize takes an R address to authorize the account, and unauthorized takes the R address which has been previously authorized. And one important thing to note here is each time you authorize an account, your owner count increases by 1. That is, your owner reserve increases. So whenever you unauthorize the previously authorized account, your owner count decreases. I'll show that to you with the help of code. Now let me uncomment this and just change the payload here, because there is only slight modification. That is, the transaction type is DepositPreauth. And let me change this. And then the field name we need to use is authorize. And let's authorize this R address associated with this family seed. Everything looks fine. So let's run this code to authorize this R address to send funds. Deposit auth. And the transaction is successful. Let me copy this hash and check for the transaction detail. Please follow along with me. Do this transaction for your own accounts and check it using these explorers. So this has authorized the R address to send funds. So let's check that. So this is the family seed associated with the R address we just whitelisted or authorized. This one. So we authorized the same R address and we are trying to send the funds using the family seed associated with that authorized R address. So this time the transaction should succeed. Okay, so let's check that. So the transaction got submitted to the network and we are waiting for the response, and as you can see, the transaction went through and it was successful. So this is how you authorize an account to send funds to an account which has DepositAuth flag enabled. Now it's time for assignment. Nothing fancy here, just get back to the documentation. We have another field called unauthorize. Let me get to the documentation and scroll down. We have unauthorized field here. You need to pass the previously authorized accounts to it. That way your owner count will be lowered by 1 and hence your total owner reserve. Just do that and check your owner count and owner reserve. Okay, so this is how you do it. This is the payload. Just try it and then try to fetch the account information and check the owner count as well as calculate the total owner reserve. Now if you have any client application, before sending a payment transaction to any account which has DepositAuth flag enabled, you need to check if the sender address has actually got the permission to send it. We have a nice command to do that. Let's check that. The command name is deposit_authorized. This way you can check if the sender has been authorized by the destination account, that is the account which has DepositAuth flag enabled. So let's check that. Here source account is the sender's account, okay, and destination account is the account which has DepositAuth flag enabled. This way you can avoid fetching all the list of all the accounts which has been whitelisted or authorized and then checking if the sender's R address is present in it. That's kind of a overhead. Just use this command and check only with the sender's address. Very simple and straightforward. And the command name is, as we saw it previously, deposit_authorized, just to check if this source address is in fact authorized or whitelisted to send transaction to the destination address. Well, this R address is in fact authorized to send transaction to our newly created testnet account. So let's check with that. And we need to also specify the destination account, which is the account which has DepositAuth flag enabled. Now this should return true because the R address in the source account has been whitelisted or authorized to send transaction to the destination account. So let's check that. Yeah, deposit_authorized is true, which means this source account is whitelisted or authorized to send transaction to the destination account. Now let's replace the source account with some other R address which has not been whitelisted or authorized. I'll give my R address here, a different one, please observe. It's not the same R address. Now this time it has to return false, meaning this source address, as you can see, it returned false. So this source address cannot send payment transaction to this destination account because it has not been authorized or whitelisted. Okay, so deposit_authorized command is very helpful. So let's comment this code as well. And next up, let's see how to fetch all the list of all the accounts which has been authorized. It's a general command, by the way, which is account_objects, because it fetches all the objects present on your account, like offer objects if you have a pending offer on the DEX, ripple state, that is the trust lines details, escrow object, payment channel object, check object, and also DepositPreauth objects, which means all the pre-authorized accounts will be listed here, irrespective of if your account has DepositAuth flag enabled or not. Okay, so let's check that. Quickly, I'll write this command. So the command name is account_objects. We use this in general to fetch all the objects present on an account, and the account which we want to fetch the account objects of is here. I'll just output whatever RippleD returns. In this case, we don't have any trust line or DEX offers. We only have this authorization object. So those are the only things which will be listed. We have only one account which has been authorized, and that is listed here. And make sure to check the ledger entry types, because it has to be DepositPreauth, because once you have trust lines and other things, the ledger entry type will be different and you should not get confused. So if you're writing a loop to fetch all the authorized accounts, then the ledger entry type has to be DepositPreauth. Now let's quickly authorize one more account. I have to uncomment this from payload till here. Let me change the sequence number. And this time let me authorize this R address quickly. Okay, it's successful. In your case, copy the hash of your transaction and check with the Explorer. Okay, I won't do that again because we have already shown you how to do that. Let me comment this once again and then run account_objects command. This time it has to list 2 whitelisted or authorized accounts. Let's check that. So here we have array of objects, and inside that we have 2 objects. That is, this is the one account and this is the second account which got whitelisted or which was authorized, and here you can find the authorized R address. And also let's check the owner count. We already know how to do that using a command called account_info. Let's check that. Everything else is same. So the owner count is 2, which means the owner reserve as of now is 2 XRP. So the total owner reserve is 2 into, that is the owner count into owner reserve, which means 2 into 2 is 4. Now if you remove or unauthorize, we shall do that actually. I'll unauthorize one of the previously authorized R address and then check back the owner count. As of now, owner count is 2, and once you unauthorize this or any of the previously authorized address, the owner count should be reduced by 1. Okay, this is unauthorization. We haven't checked it, so let me copy the transaction hash and paste it here. So this is unauthorized command, the field, sorry. So this R address got unauthorized because it was previously authorized. You can't unauthorize an account which was not previously authorized. Now let's check back the account info and the owner count. This time the owner count should just be 1 instead of 2. As you can see, owner count is 1, and hence the owner reserve, the total owner reserve will be reduced. Let's even check account_objects, and now it has only 1 object. That's it. Those are the major things I wanted to share with you about deposit authorization. So a quick recap of the things we learned. Preauthorize is currency agnostic, meaning you cannot pre-authorize accounts for specific currencies, okay? And to pre-authorize a particular sender, send a DepositPreauth transaction and specify the R address you want to authorize in authorize field. And to revoke authorization, the pre-authorized address in unauthorized field, okay? That's the major difference, authorize and unauthorize. You cannot use both authorize and unauthorize in a single transaction. And you cannot even authorize your own account. That will throw error. And you can authorize or unauthorize an account even if DepositAuth flag is not yet enabled on your account. The authorized list will be effective only once you enable DepositAuth flag on your own account. And the other way to receive funds without whitelisting or authorizing accounts is to accept the escrow finish, that is, send escrow finish, send payment channel climb transaction. That way you know from whom you are getting the payment from. Okay, so these are the major stuffs about deposit authorization, and I'm listing a couple of URLs on the screen. You can read all about deposit authorization in detail. This is the brief description of how deposit authorization works.